She laughed in my face when I asked if she was cheating 2 hours later. She was on her knees, begging me not to show the video to everyone. But by then, it was too late. If you're tired of fake apologies and want to see what real revenge looks like, hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe for more stories where cheaters get exactly what they deserve. I always believed my wife Lily was different. We were the perfect couple in everyone's eyes. Married for 9 years, 2 beautiful kids, a comfortable home, and a circle of friends who envied our bond. But all that perfection was a lie one I was too blind to see until it hit me like a truck. It started with small things, late-night work meetings, new lingerie receipts in her purse, and a sudden obsession with locking her phone. I made excuses. I wanted to believe her. Until the night I found a hotel room keycard in her car's Q folder. The same night she told me she was working late at the office. That was the moment something inside me snapped. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wanted proof. Real, undeniable, soul-crushing proof. So I did what any betrayed man with a spine would do. I started digging, and what I found made my blood boil. Hidden in her email drafts was a message, half written to someone named Eric, where she talked about how freeing it feels to finally be herself when she's with him. Eric wasn't a colleague. He wasn't a friend. He was the owner of the company I helped her get a job at, and their secret meetings had been going on for months. I realized she wasn't just betraying me. She was mocking me, playing house with me while sneaking around like I was too stupid to notice. But I wasn't stupid. And Lily was about to learn what happens when you treat loyalty like garbage. I planned every detail of my revenge in silence. There was a corporate dinner coming up, a formal event where she'd be with her boss, colleagues, and all our mutual friends. A perfect stage. And I had the perfect show prepared. I arrived at the venue an hour early, carrying a small USB drive that would burn her entire double life to ashes. It wasn't just the emails. I had video. Footage of Lily walking into a hotel room with Eric, holding hands like teenagers sneaking behind their parents' backs. I had spent days collecting it, hiring a private investigator who, unlike me, wasn't blinded by love. That night, Lily wore a stunning red dress, the same one I bought her for our anniversary. She looked like perfection wrapped in poison dot. When she saw me at the entrance, her smile froze. "You made it," she said, faking surprise. I smiled back. Wouldn't miss it for the world. I could see Eric watching us from across the room, his arm casually draped around a champagne glass, smug as if he owned her. They thought they were in control. That was their biggest mistake. As the dinner progressed, I played my role perfectly. Toasts, small talk, laughter, all while my heart was stone cold inside. Lily leaned in, whispering sweet nothings, completely unaware of what was coming. She had no idea that every polite smile I gave was another nail in the coffin of her affair. When the host invited me to speak, knowing I was the spouse of their rising star, I took a deep breath, walked to the stage, and connected my USB to the projector. The screen flickered, and there she was, Lily, on video, laughing in a hotel corridor with Eric. The audio was clear. He's so clueless. It's almost fun seeing how much he trusts me. The silence in the room was suffocating. All eyes turned to her. Lily's face drained of color, her mouth opening but no words coming out. Eric's glass slipped from his hand, shattering on the marble floor. I didn't need to say a word. The video spoke louder than any accusation. Lily stumbled up from her seat, her voice trembling. "It's not what it looks like." But no one believed her. Not after that. I looked at her, emotionless, and simply said, "You made your choice, Lily. Now live with it." She rushed towards me, grabbing my arm like her grip could erase the truth everyone had just witnessed. "Please, let's talk in private," she whispered, her eyes wide with panic. But I gently pulled my arm away, keeping my voice calm enough. "For everyone to hear, you wanted to be free, Lily. You are." The crowd was frozen, their eyes darting between me and her, unsure whether to look away or stay glued to the disaster unfolding. Eric had already vanished, ran out like a coward, leaving her to face the fallout alone. Lily's boss, Mrs. Grayson, stepped forward, her face cold and professional. "Lily, we'll talk about your position on Monday." That sentence hit harder than any scream. Lily's perfect career, the one she built on lies, was crumbling in front of her. She looked around, but no one met her gaze. Friends she gossiped with, laughed with, now looked at her like she was invisible. That's when the tears started, but it wasn't guilt. It was fear. Fear of losing her reputation, her lifestyle, and the security she thought would last forever. I didn't wait for more drama. I simply turned, thanked the host for the dinner, and walked out. The only sound behind me was Lily's broken sobbing. Outside, the cool night air hit my face. I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no joy, just peace. It was done. As I reached my car, my phone buzzed. A text from Lily. "Please don't leave." "I'll fix this. I'll do anything." I didn't reply. I drove home, knowing that would be the last message she'd ever send me. She wasn't going to find me there. I had already packed my bags, signed the divorce papers, and left a letter on the kitchen counter that read, "I'm ghosting you, Lily. Enjoy your freedom." That night, I didn't go home. I checked into a small hotel on the edge of town, the kind of place where no one asks questions. My phone kept buzzing. Messages, missed calls, voicemails, all from Lily. Her voice, once so confident and charming, now cracked and desperate in every recording. "Please, we can fix this. Don't do this to us, to the kids." But there was no us anymore. She had destroyed that with every lie she thought she was smart enough to hide. The next morning, I turned my phone off completely. I needed silence, true silence. I spent the day meeting with my lawyer, finalizing the divorce papers. There was no fight, no negotiation. I had everything I needed: proof of her infidelity, the video, the witnesses. The law was on my side. And Lily knew it. She wouldn't get the house. She wouldn't get custody. She wouldn't even get a chance to twist the story in her favor. By the afternoon, I received confirmation that the divorce papers were served to her at her office. Public, legal, final. Her co-workers watched as she accepted the envelope with shaking hands. There were no fake smiles left to wear. The facade had collapsed. Meanwhile, I sat in a quiet cafe, sipping coffee, feeling the weight lift off my chest. For the first time in months, maybe years, I could breathe. No more lies. No more pretending. Everything was fine while she laughed behind my back, but the real twist wasn't done yet. Because, just as I thought this chapter was closed, a message popped up from a number I didn't recognize. It was a screenshot. A conversation between Lily and one of her closest friends. The message read, "He'll come back. He's too weak. I'll cry. I'll apologize, and he'll crawl back like they always do." I smiled. She still didn't get it. She didn't know she had already lost me forever. I didn't respond to the message. I didn't need to. Lily's words said everything about the person she had become. Arrogant, manipulative, still playing games as if her tears could erase the truth. But this wasn't a game anymore. That night, I visited a close friend of mine, Daniel. He'd gone through something similar years ago. His wife had cheated, lied, and tried to ruin him, but he came out stronger. Daniel didn't offer me sympathy. He offered me clarity. "Lily's going to spiral," he said. "When a person's mask falls off in public, they either face their truth or destroy themselves trying to deny it." He was right. By the next morning, people from our community, mutual friends, even her own colleagues started reaching out. Screenshots of her crying to them, playing the victim card. But this time, no one was buying it. The video was circulating. Not viral. Online, but viral where it mattered, in her world. She wasn't the charming, loyal wife anymore. She was the woman who humiliated her own husband while preaching about family values. 2 days later, I received a message from her brother, a decent man who had no idea what Lily had been doing behind closed doors. He apologized for her actions and admitted that their own parents were disgusted by her betrayal. "You deserved better," he wrote. And he was right, but Lily wasn't done yet. That evening, she showed up at Daniel's office, knowing I'd be there. She looked nothing like the woman who once stood beside me, beaming with pride. Her eyes were swollen from crying, makeup smeared, her voice trembling as she begged for a private conversation. "I need to explain," she whispered. But I didn't flinch. I didn't offer a hug. I didn't even look away. Calmly, I said, "You already did in that video, and I believed every word." Her legs gave out, and she collapsed onto a chair, sobbing into her hands. But I stayed standing. I wasn't here for apologies. I was here to remind her, there's no coming back. From this dot, Lily kept crying, but her tears didn't move me anymore. She wasn't crying for what she did. She was crying because she lost control. I sat across from her, calm and unbothered, while she struggled to breathe through her sobs. "I can change. I'll go to therapy. We can fix this," she stammered. But her words felt empty. She wasn't sorry for cheating. She was sorry she got caught in front of everyone. I leaned in, keeping my voice low but sharp. "You spent months lying to my face, sneaking around, making me feel crazy for trusting you. And now you think a few tears will undo that? Lily, this isn't a movie. There's no happy ending for you here." She looked up, her face crumbling even more. "But the kids, they need us together." I shook my head slowly. "No, Lily. They need a mother who doesn't humiliate their father in hotel lobbies. You should have thought of them before." Just then, Daniel walked in with the divorce documents in hand. He placed them gently on the table between us. "Lily, stared at them like they were a death sentence. You'll get your share. You'll get to see the kids. But you won't get to rewrite this story, Lily. Not this time. She picked up the pen with trembling fingers, but I could see it in her eyes. She still thought she had a chance to flip this around. She thought I'd crack and forgive her. When she signed her name, I stood up, took the papers, and said the words I had waited so long to say, "We're done." She reached out to grab my arm again, but I was already walking away. No drama, no shouting, just cold, clean closure. As I left the office, my phone buzzed. A message from her best friend. It read, "She's still blaming everyone but herself. You did the right thing." I smiled. Lily had spent so long playing the puppet master, but now the strings were cut. That evening, while I was having dinner with my kids, my phone lit up again. This time, it was a number I didn't recognize. Out of curiosity, I answered. "Is this Lily's husband?" a woman's voice asked. "Ex-husband," I corrected without hesitation. She paused, then sighed. "I thought you should know. I'm Eric's wife, the man your ex-wife was seeing." My grip on the phone tightened, but I stayed quiet. "I saw the video," she continued, her voice calm but bitter. "I wanted to thank you. You exposed both of them. Eric's been kicked out, and trust me, his life is now a mess. I guess your revenge served two homes." For a brief moment, I felt an unexpected connection with this woman. Both of us, betrayed by the people we trusted the most. I thanked her for calling and wished her strength. After hanging up, I looked at my kids, laughing and joking over dinner, blissfully unaware of the storm that had passed. And I realized my battle was never about revenge. It was about clearing the wreckage so I could protect what mattered. The next morning, Lily tried one last desperate move. She sent a long email apologizing again, claiming she was seeing a therapist now, blaming her emotional issues for her actions, and pleading for a conversation for closure. But I had already given her closure. In front of an entire room. Days passed, word spread. Lily's social circle started shrinking. Her glamorous image was shattered. She had become that woman, the one who destroyed her marriage, lost her job, and got exposed publicly. I, on the other hand, had moved on, quietly, steadily. No loud announcements, no messy online posts, just peace. A few weeks later, I met someone new, a woman who had also survived betrayal. We connected instantly, not through shared pain, but through understanding. She didn't need fixing. She didn't wear masks. And for the first time, I felt seen for who I was, not what I could provide. One evening, as we sat on a park bench watching my kids play, she turned to me and said, "You know, Lily did you a favor." I smiled. Yeah, she did. She showed me exactly what I don't need in my life. Months passed, and life slowly began to feel normal again, but a new kind of normal. A life where I didn't have to second-guess every smile, every late-night meeting, every text message left unanswered. The woman I had started seeing, Emily, wasn't flashy or dramatic. She was simple, honest, and didn't play games. My kids grew fond of her naturally, without me forcing anything. It was as if the universe was quietly stitching back the parts. Lily had torn apart, but Lily wasn't done punishing herself. Word eventually reached me that she had been fired from 2 temporary jobs, Her reputation followed her like a shadow she couldn't outrun. She tried to rebrand herself as a victim on social media, posting vague quotes about toxic marriages and learning to love herself. But the people who mattered had already seen the truth. No one bought her pity party. One day, out of nowhere, Lily's brother called me. He was a good man, caught between loyalty and shame. "She's spiraling," he said. "Clubbing, drinking, different guys every week. She's not okay." I didn't feel joy hearing that. I didn't even feel anger. I felt nothing, because I had already closed that chapter. That the real victory wasn't exposing her or ruining her image. The real win was not caring anymore. I had rebuilt my peace brick by brick, and she had nothing to hold on to but her regrets. 6 months after our divorce, I received a formal letter from Lily's lawyer. She wanted to renegotiate visitation rights. She wanted more access to the kids. My response was simple: let's ask the kids what they want. When I asked my son and daughter, their answer was painfully honest. "We just want to stay with you, Dad." They weren't angry with her. They just felt safer with me. That was the moment I knew I had won. Not in court, not in public, but where it mattered the most. In my home, in my children's hearts. Weeks turned into months, and Lily's name became nothing more than a shadow that occasionally passed through conversations, but no longer had the power to stir my emotions. The kids settled into a peaceful routine, their laughter filling the house in a way it hadn't for years. Emily became a quiet, comforting presence in our lives, never trying to replace anyone, just being there in the moments that mattered. One evening, while we were out having ice cream, my phone buzzed with a notification. It was a news article link sent by a friend. The headline made my heart pause for a second. Local businesswoman's scandalous affair video resurfaces, costs her new job opportunity. The video from that night had found its way back into circulation. Not by me. I had let it go long ago, but apparently someone else wasn't ready to forget. I showed the article to Emily, and she simply said, "Some people never stop paying for the lies they tell." But by then, I wasn't interested in Lily's downfall. I was too busy living. My focus was on the small, quiet victories, like my daughter drawing a picture of our new family that included Emily, or my son asking if we could go camping again like we used to before things went wrong. These were the moments that mattered. One Sunday afternoon, as we sat in the backyard having a barbecue, Lily's brother stopped by unexpectedly. He handed me an envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter from Lily. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't a plea. It was acceptance. She admitted she had destroyed everything good in her life, that she didn't expect forgiveness, and that she hoped one day the kids might see her not as a villain, but as a human who made terrible choices. I folded the letter and put it away. Closure wasn't a conversation. It was a decision. I had already made mine. That evening, as Emily and I watched the sunset, she turned to me and said, "You don't even realize it, but you're a different man now." I smiled, feeling the truth in her words. I wasn't the man begging for answers or obsessing over betrayal. I was a man who had learned to let go, rebuild, and move forward. And somewhere out there, Lily was left with the only thing she had earned: silence. A year had passed since that night, the night everything shattered, and ironically, the night everything began to heal. Life had taken a strange but beautiful turn. I had finalized the adoption papers for a new business venture that Emily and I started together, a small cafe with a play area for kids. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest. It was peaceful. And every morning when we opened the doors, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Pride that wasn't attached to anyone else's approval. One afternoon, while wiping down tables, a familiar voice startled me. "You always wanted your own cafe, didn't you?" I turned around slowly. It was Lily, standing by the entrance, looking smaller than I remembered. Her posture was different, no arrogance, no facade. Just tired eyes and a faint, defeated smile. I didn't respond. I just watched her, wondering if she was here for drama, closure, or curiosity. She looked around the cafe, her gaze softening as she noticed our kids' drawings taped proudly on the walls. "You made a nice life here," she said quietly. "Yeah," I replied, "a life built on truth. Something you never understood." She flinched at my words but didn't argue. "I just wanted to see if you're happy," she whispered. "I am. And I hope you find that for yourself too," I said, not with bitterness, but with genuine indifference. She nodded, her eyes glistening, then turned to leave. As the door closed behind her, I felt nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, just peace. Later that evening, Emily, who had been in the kitchen, asked, "Was that her?" I smiled faintly. "Yeah, but she's just a ghost now." Emily leaned in, kissed my cheek, and said, "Ghosts don't haunt you if you stop giving them power." As the cafe lights dimmed and we locked up, I realized this was my true revenge, not the public humiliation, not the exposed videos, but living a life so complete, so content, that her betrayal became irrelevant. And that's the part no cheater ever expects. You don't destroy them with rage. You destroy them by becoming untouchable.